Hello, everybody. Sorry for the lack of notice. I was editing and I dozed off. True story. Fell asleep right here at my desk. Yep. And then I did one of those scare awake things where, I'm zonked out and all of a sudden I'm like... Yep, knocked crap over, just flailing around. Yeah. Hey, good to see you. Hi, my love. I'm so happy you're here. Everybody's coming in. Hi. I am so sorry I didn't put up a notice. I napped. I'm feeling tired, but well, I'm doing good. Yep. I'm healing, but you can definitely tell it takes a toll. Hello, sweetie pie. Good to see you. Billy is outside again, and it's snowing. It is snowing. Like white stuff all over the place, kind of snowing. And he ran outside, and he won't come in. He just wants to sit there on the deck. He's happy, so I'm leaving him out there. I think he thinks that it'll be easier to get bunnies and stuff. You can see him now, a lot easier. Oh, I'm so glad you guys made it in here, even without the 30-minute warning or however long a warning I can get up there sometimes. And I'm sure everyone else will see it, as time goes. Oh, but yeah. So when I was editing, I all of a sudden I saw a familiar face. And I was like, oh man, I must have already done this one. But nothing else looked familiar. But it was Beaver Plumbing Guy. Very, very distinctly Beaver Plumbing Guy. And I was like, no, this can't be the same clip. Nothing looks familiar. And so I went back and I actually pulled up the last stream that had him in it. And it was a different judge. It was Judge Webster. And this is Judge Crumb. So no, it was not the same. But then I remembered he was there for a different hearing that day. And I just happened to get them both. So, hi, Philip Hughes. Hi, so good to see you. I'm so happy to have you here. Oh, thank you. Yes. Since my dozy self, missed letting everybody know, I'm really glad that you're on the ball and telling everybody. Hi, Laura. Glad to have you. Yeah, it kind of is. It never was meant to be, but it kind of is now. Yep. Y'all are to blame. All y'all did this. This is you. Not my fault. Hi, Tim. Good to have you here. Glad you made it. Oh, I'm glad you do. It'd be silly of you to come if you didn't. you're on your own. What does that usually entail? Hi, sweetie. Good to have you here. I almost put one of those in. Yep, I almost did, and then I realized, no, that means I gotta pay for it online too. Dag nabbit. Okay, well, let me see here. I think we got most of the gang here. Not all of them, but a few. I'm so happy to have you guys. And I'm so happy for everybody who can't be here, and so they watch this on replay crew. You guys are like mega superstars. Seriously. Heroes with no capes. Like, I can't even tell you how much I appreciate it that you do that. It's so great to be here live and interacting with the chat. And, you know, for me, when I was in other rooms, I always thought that was like the most fun part of it. You know, the clips were okay, but it was always the chat that got me hooked. But the replay crew, you know, you guys still enjoy it, and you watch just to watch. And I can't even tell you how much that means to me that you do that. That I mean enough to you for you to spend your time watching me. That is so cool to me. And I am so grateful for you. Seriously. So. Oh, did I see my Bubba? Hi, Bubba. Great to see you. Hi, honey. You guys are so cool. And I love how much y'all love each other. That means a lot. It really does. All right, so this first one is a two-parter. The second part.
We're now on the record, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. And good morning, everyone. Madam Clerk, would you be good enough to open court for us, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Oyez, oyez, oyez. The Honorable Superior Court and for the Judicial District of Danbury is now open and in session. All persons having causes or actions now pending before said session will give their attention according to the law. The Honorable Judge Chapin presiding. Good morning, Your Honor.
And good morning, Madam Clerk. Good morning, everyone. We're here this morning on the remote short calendar involving the matter of Sage Woodward versus Joanna Horoduska. It's docket number CV 22501-8597S. And I would ask our parties if they would be good enough to identify themselves for the record, starting with the plaintiff.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sage Woodward.
Good morning. And the defendant could identify herself, please.
Good morning, Your Honor, and everyone. This is Joanna Horoduska.
Good morning. All right, we're here this morning on the plaintiff's motion for summary judgment. It's number 111 in the court's file. Defendant has filed an objection. It's in file at number 113. And I have reviewed both the motion and the objection. And at this time, I'd be happy to hear argument from both parties, but a couple of ground rules before we begin. Number one, because this is a remote proceeding, I do need to ask you to follow a couple of rules. Wait your turn to speak, first and foremost. Number two, please do not talk over one another. And number three, please just talk through me instead of at each other. At the conclusion of the hearing, I will do what's called take the papers. In other words, I will consider the arguments of the parties. You'll then thereafter get a written ruling from the court through the clerk's office. And so I may ask some questions at some point. I may not, depends on the circumstances. So at this point, let me turn it over to Mr. Woodward since it's his motion. We'll hear from him and then we'll hear from Ms. Horodaiska. Okay, Mr. Woodward.
Thank you, sir. On or about February 2020, Ms. Horodaiska and I had a previous relationship, mostly business, and she had approached me and asked me for a loan. Originally, we were going to go in and do business together, and she needed the loan in order to secure a bond. I agreed. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to work with Ms. Horodaiska installing these cabinets, which was what the job was. And she had asked me if I could borrow the money, even though I wasn't going to be involved. And I had said yes. I agreed to loaning her the money. We sent emails back and forth and drafted up a business loan agreement just because I wanted to make sure that everything was on file. And I believe this is on file with the courts as well, which was notarized March 9th, 2020. If it pleases Your Honor, should I read it briefly to you?
Well, let me put it to you this way. As I said, I've read your motion. I read all the attachments. I've read Ms. Horodaiska's response. Today is not the trial of the matter, so we're not taking evidence from anybody. We're sticking literally to what you have written and to what has been presented to the court for the basis of asking for summary judgment to be granted. If you wish to argue the legal basis for it and the factual basis by the supporting documents, I'll be happy to hear that, but we're not taking any testimony or anything like that. A trial date, if the motion is denied, the trial date will be assigned subsequent to the motion hearing. But anyway, go ahead, sir.
All right, Your Honor, I guess, I mean, instead of just repeating everything that's in front of you and that you've read, in order to save the court's time, then I guess that's pretty much all I had to say, except no payments or any money has been received since March 9th, 2020. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Okay. And Ms. Horodaiska, and hopefully I'm pronouncing your name correctly. If I'm not, please correct me. I'd be happy to hear from you as well.
Thank you, Your Honor. I ask for objection to plaintiff motion for summary judgment for a couple of reasons. The motion for summary judgment should be used when there is no major issue to the presented facts. There is a issue, in my opinion, because prior I learned that the loan was illegal. It was usurious, and according to Connecticut General Statute, Chapter 673, Section 37.4, it shouldn't be brought to the court. Also, plaintiff is asking for, in his motion, is asking for different interest rate, and the same chapter in Connecticut General Statute says that there's no authority allowing a court to adopt another rate of interest. And as I learned from the previous hearing, any motion should be accompanied by a memorandum of law citing the legal authorities, which is not here as well. Plaintiff also makes suggestions that denial of my previous motion to dismiss the case was based on the fact that the court agree with him, but there was also denied my previous motion because it was not accompanied by memorandum of law. The other facts that plaintiff include in his motion are not true, not relevant, and baseless as usual, charged by his, emotions. So I'm kindly asking to deny his motion.
All right, Mr. Woodward, anything further?
Yes, Your Honor. I loaned this woman money. She asked me for money. I came into an agreement with her, and I believe the court will find justice in this instance for $8,500. I don't have any legal things to cite. I just thought this is a pretty open and case situation. That's all I have to say, Your Honor.
That was pretty clear. I'll be honest, I couldn't follow along with what she was trying to say entirely. Like, the last half of what she said, she started sentences and didn't finish them. It was like the train derailed a few times and it never got back on track. And so I was thoroughly confused with her response. But his certainly was clear. Dag nabbit. And then I bumped the button. I did really like that, though. I loaned this woman money.
And I had said yes. I agreed to loaning her the money. We drafted up. We sent emails back and forth and drafted up.
I learned that the
Golly, I didn't think it was this far in.
respond to what just plaintiff said.
Oh, okay.
So I'm kindly asking to deny his motion.
All right, Mr. Woodward, anything further?
Yes, Your Honor. I loaned this woman money. She asked me for money. I came into an agreement with her, and I believe the court will find justice in this instance for $8,500. I don't have any legal things to cite. I just thought this is a pretty open and case situation. That's all I have to say, Your Honor. Thank you for your time.
Certainly. Attorney, Ms. Hordice, got anything further?
Your Honor, let me respond to what just plaintiff said. Prior to learning of the illegality of the loan, I attempted to repay the plaintiff multiple times in the form of certified check, and hold financial and email record of doing this. I also presented in the court, but plaintiff refused.
All right, let me stop you there. As I told Mr. Woodward, today's not a trial. Yep. It's not taking any evidence, just other than what's in your pleadings, your objection. If you want to comment on that, that's fine. But some of the things you're starting to tell me are outside of those pleadings. So,
okay, I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Sorry.
That's it. Thank you.
All right, what I'll do is I'll take the papers on the matter. In other words, I'll consider your arguments in light of the motions that you filed and the objection that was filed. And as I said, I'll issue a written decision within the context of the motion, and you'll get that through the clerk's office at a future date. I thank you both for being timely in your arguments, and I'll excuse both of you at this time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good afternoon and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, and same to both of you. All right, Madam Clerk, we'll take a recess till 10 a.m.
Oh, wow. Lawyer Kitty getting mad.
Hello again, Your Honor.
Good morning, counsel. This is, got to put on the record. This is the matter of FCM as custodian for FIG CT19 v. Gail Carney, DBD CV 236-045-660S. Counsel, please identify yourself for the record again, counsel.
Good morning again, Your Honor. Maria Salato on behalf of the plaintiff.
Morning, ma'am. Ms. Carney, please identify yourself for the record, ma'am.
Gail Carney.
You, sir?
Guy Johnson.
You're a friend of Ms. Carney?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, we had called the matter previously, discussed it briefly with Ms. Carney. We called the matter. We're not aware that she was present in a waiting room, in a remote room here at the courthouse.
I am not sure if it's happened or not. That is a courtroom that stays open 24/7. And then just randomly all of a sudden it bloop, 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 and it's got somebody there. And it's open for 10, 15 minutes, and then it shuts down again. Like, as far as viewing what was going on, but the live stream stays running. So it's really hard to get anything because you either have to record 24/7 to get stuff, or catch it when it's on. It's so weird. It's Danbury, Connecticut. So, I'm assuming, I don't know. I'm assuming that it has happened, but I don't know. Like, he said he'd be back at 10. They weren't. So I don't know if I don't know. I don't understand that one, but I happened to catch it. I don't know how people find cases and records and stuff, for future hearings. But if anybody wants to look up Danbury, Connecticut and see if that one's run, let me know.
Thereafter, called the matter and you signed off, she signed on. So we just want to run through the matter again briefly, if we can, just with her present.
Absolutely.
Ms. Carney, we're now going to go through some information that we covered earlier, okay?
Okay.
This is a tax lien foreclosure. The return date of 3/28/23. Motion 105 for foreclosure. The address of the property is 45 Myrie Brook Road, number 40, Danbury, Connecticut.
42 Myrie Brook Road, Your Honor.
42, that's 42, Unit 40. 42 Myrie Brook, Unit 40.
Yes, sir.
The appraisal was filed on as of 11/6/23. She was evaluation of $80,000. That value was all assigned to the improvements. The debt is indicated for the debt of 1593.24. It's tax lien foreclosure, I believe 3 years. Default has been entered against Ms. Carney, entry number 104. Equity in the property of $78,000, $78,406.76. That's 78406.76. Plaintiff's counsel seeking the following fees: title search fees of $225, appraisal fee of $800 because 2 appraisals had to be done, and attorney's fees of $2710.00. Ms. Carney, do you object to any of those fees, ma'am?
Excuse me?
Do you object to any of those fees? Do you object to any of those fees?
I'm not really sure. I've never done this before.
Okay. Counsel has submitted a foreclosure worksheet outlining a title search fee of $225, an appraisal fee of $800 because 2 appraisals had to be done, so seeking $800, and attorney's fees of $2710.00. And the court's asking if you have any objection to me entering those fees be paid.
He is not sped up. Not by me, anyways.
Your Honor, Ms. Carney, right at this moment, with this is all about the taxes that the
Sir,
company.
With all due respect, you're not her attorney, correct?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, then you're not her attorney. You don't have an appearance filed on her behalf. So I'm somewhat reluctant to allow you to speak in these proceedings.
Okay.
So, Ms. Carney, in terms of those fees that have been requested by the counsel for the plaintiff, do you have any objection?
No.
No? Okay. Ms. Carney, the date that's been offered for a sale date for foreclosures is March 9th, 2024. Okay.
Excuse me, are you saying you're gonna sell her home?
No, procedurally, sir, there's a foreclosure by sale process. There's a debt outstanding and due of $1,593.24. Property is valued at $80,000. There's equity in the property. So in these proceedings, we can either foreclose, you can do foreclosure by sale or foreclosure by strict foreclosure, which means there's no equity. There's equity in this property, so we're going to enter foreclosure by sale. The sale, the date upon which it's going to occur is 3/9/24, March 9th, 24. Before that point in time, if Ms. Carney is able to address the outstanding debt with plaintiff's counsel, then we can avoid the sale.
What's the amount that they're asking? The 800 and the 1,500, Your Honor?
No, the outstanding debt is 1,593.24.
Okay.
Your Honor, if I have Ms. Carney's email, I'm more than happy to provide her a payoff today through the end of December so that she has all that information.
I think that, so Ms. Carney, what plaintiff's counsel has offered to do, she's going to email you today a statement of the outstanding dues that are outstanding fees and dues that are due the plaintiff, which will give you an updated it's an update, it's a spreadsheet showing you how much is due and outstanding. She's going to email that to you today. So if you can address it, fine, or you can also try to communicate with counsel for plaintiff to see if anything else can be worked out. Okay.
Okay.
Ms. Carney, why don't you just for our purposes, tell us what your email address is, just so counsel can be sure that she has it. Your best email address, ma'am?
Yeah, I speak because I know her. She's not that well versed with the internet, Your Honor.
Okay.
If I can provide it.
Please do, sir. Thank you, sir. Get the counsel?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
I'll take care of it today.
Great. So the court's going to go ahead and enter the following orders. The defaults are in order. Address of the property is stated previously is 42 Myrie Brook Road, number 40, Danbury, Connecticut.
42 Myrie Brook Road.
Yeah.
Unit 40, that's correct, yes, ma'am. Property is valued at $80,000. The debt is listed at 1,593.24. Foreclosure by sale has been ordered to occur on 3/9/24. Title search fee of $225. Appraisal fee of $800 and attorney's fees of $2,710. Anything further, counsel?
Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you for your patience today, counsel. Appreciate you coming back on.
Thank you, no problem.
Anything further, Ms. Carney?
Well, I would rather make payments to save my house.
I'll contact you later via email with all the information on that.
Okay.
Okay.
The attorney's going to email you today with all that information, and I think you can probably work something out, okay?
I'm sure we could. Yep. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Your Honor.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Bill. Take care. Have a nice day. Thank you.
You too.
Good
Bye-bye.
luck to you, ma'am.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. On that second one, the guy starts talking and he's not counsel. So the judge initially says, you can't be a part of this. You're not her counsel. You're not entered on record. But then ultimately the judge ends up talking to him and giving him all the info. So whatever. I don't know if that judge speaks that way to hide a stutter, because I thought I caught a glimmer of a stutter in there. So I don't know if that's just how his brain has come to process the stutter so that it doesn't actually stutter. But yeah, it was a little difficult to understand the judge at times. But the content was on par with, me. Okay, so Crum first appearances.
First appearance docket for Butler County,
Crum.
Kansas, November 15th, 2023. First case on the docket is State of Kansas versus Matthew Aubrey Coppersmith.
With thewish.com, Jay Regier.
22 TR 1868. Mr. Watts, are you here on this case?
I am, Your Honor. You may remember that Mr. Coppersmith had a failure to appear on July 17 before Your Honor because he was in custody in Johnson County.
All right, the state appears by Devin Canfield. Mr. Coppersmith, I'm assuming that's you there at the jail?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and Mr. Coppersmith appears by Attorney James Watts. You are correct, Mr. Watts. On July 17th, a bench warrant bond forfeiture was issued, $5,000 bond was set. Any announcement from your end, Mr. Watts?
Well, Your Honor, we didn't really get very far in this case. It was set for the July date, it looks like, to determine still whether or not we were going to have a preliminary hearing. I know we had talked about how to proceed, but it really hadn't gotten that far. He was unable to appear that date because he was in custody in Johnson County. I think the interesting thing about Mr. Coppersmith is I don't know that I have had a client over the last decade who's been more in contact with me than Mr. Coppersmith, even given the fact that he's in custody. He's in regular contact. He has recently been sentenced in Johnson County, the case that prevented him from coming down here. He's been sentenced to an underlying term. I'm trying to look what the underlying term is. 71 months. Is that right, Mr. Coppersmith?
65.
65 months.
65.
But he's placed in the therapeutic community in Johnson County. And this case, this detainer, this particular case we're on here today, has prevented him from actually beginning that therapeutic community process. As you may remember, Your Honor, while he was in Johnson County, it really wasn't practical to get him in a Zoom hearing and take the case up. Now that he's in therapeutic community, he can do that if this detainer is lifted. So what he's asking is that we set this as an OR bond. He'll be transported back to the therapeutic community up in Johnson County. We will be doing further hearings by Zoom from there, and we can get this case resolved.
Did you say he received a 61-month DOC term?
That's correct, Your Honor. He has an underlying term of 65 months, 61 months.
65 months, 36 months probation. Once I complete the 6-month in custody therapeutic community at the residential center, followed by a minimum 6-month approved sober living and reintegration.
He's got a 65-month underlying with a probation granted in the therapeutic community, which he's now entering.
So he'll be in, if this court ORs him, he'll still be in custody of some sort for a while?
Yes. For the next 6 months, he'll be in the therapeutic community, and he can do participation by Zoom from that community. I have in front of me a copy of the order of felony probation, and I know I don't have it to Your Honor, but I just got it, I think yesterday.
I am many things, Philip Heels. Quick is not one of them. It reminds me of that one insurance commercial where they got that dollar on a fishing pole and that old man is, oh, you gotta be quick about it. Oh, yeah, I'm not. It's not me. Nope. Just not me.
From his attorney up there, signed by a Judge McCreary, I think that's what the judge is, ordering him to report to that therapeutic community in Johnson County.
All right, perhaps Mr. Canfield or Mr. Watts can help me out here. I'm seeing an amended information filed June 22nd, 2022 that appears to have amended the unclassified felony to a misdemeanor Class B DUI. Is that the current information we're working under?
Your Honor, I'm taking a look. I'm not sure if my system is just missing something, but I do not see that amended info.
And I'd agree with that, Your Honor. And obviously I can't go check right now. The information I have in front of me is dated June 23 of 2022.
Okay, I'll stop you there. I see what happened. An amended information from another case made its way into this file that charges it as a misdemeanor. So with you having been appointed, I assume it was a felony, Mr. Watts. So
yeah, it is charged as an unclassified non-person felony. It was charged under the old statute, the old
Okay.
DUI statute.
And my first appearance list has this as a Judge Webster case, but apparently that's not the case. And it appears that it's assigned to me. Does that?
I think that's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Mr. Canfield, your thoughts on the request of Mr. Watts to convert his bond to an OR bond and set this? Do we need to set it for PHC again?
Judge,
No.
I think so. And I think it's highly likely that we can resolve this case fairly quickly. If we can just get it back in the system. This is still Mr. Sweeney's case, is that right, Devin?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Again, Mr. Canfield, what's the state's position on the bond modification request?
Your Honor, of course, my office hasn't had any contact from the defendant, but I have no reason to doubt Mr. Watts. If he has the journal entry, understands that placement, I believe an OR would be appropriate in this case.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Canfield. Based on the Mr. Coppersmith's current circumstances, I will convert the bond to a $5,000 OR bond. Had he not been in custody currently, I probably may not do that because of his history of failure to appear, but hopefully we're in a posture now where we'll be able to get something accomplished in the case. It sounds like Mr. Coppersmith does have good communication with Mr. Watts. I'm going to put this on my January the 8th PHC docket. That'll be at 2:30 in the afternoon. Does that time work with whatever facility he's going to be in? He's nodding his head yes. That is a Zoom docket. So January 8th at 2:30 p.m. Mr. Watts, I trust you can get the Zoom link to whatever facility he's in, so he will be able to participate.
Yes, sir, I can do that. Have the facility call me and I can give him the Zoom links, as Your Honor well knows, and I'll tell Mr. Coppersmith that is a regular recurring link I can pass along to him.
All right. Are there any other matters we need to address on this case?
None from the state.
All right. Mr. Coppersmith, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All
Thank
right.
you very much for your consideration.
There's
And Your
nothing
Honor,
further. Go ahead.
I just had a thought. If your AA would be so gracious as to place us in a breakout room, so given that's a recurring link, I can give that to him right now.
Okay. Well, I've got two more in custodies to take up, Mr.
Okay.
Watts. But we'll get with us and we'll make those arrangements at a different time. So
I get that. Matthew, give me a call and we'll make sure you get that link number.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. We'll be in recess. Thank you.
And Your Honor, I think that's the only thing I have on this docket. I think I have you at 3 o'clock, and with your permission, I will bow out.
All right. Thank you, Jim.
Have a good afternoon.
Do I have court? I was supposed to be on there at 1:15.
Are you
This
Jaden
is
Preston?
Jaden. Yeah.
Yes, your name is a little further down the docket. If you'll just wait patiently, your name will be called after a while.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you said the next docket wasn't until 3, but okay. Sorry about that.
All right. Are you Barry Leitner?
I am, Your Honor.
All right. Next case on the docket is State of Kansas versus Barry W. Leitner, 18 CR 347. The state appears by Devin Canfield. The defendant, Barry Leitner, appears in person in custody from the Butler County Jail. All parties appearing by Zoom. Mr. Leitner, looks like you've been picked up on a warrant to show cause. That warrant alleges violations of probation as follows. Apparently, you failed to report to your Sedgwick County ISO on February 5th, 2021 as directed. It also alleges that you failed to complete mandatory Senate Bill 123 drug and alcohol treatment, and that you were unsuccessfully discharged from outpatient treatment back on February 4th, 2021. This case will be set for further hearing on my warrant to show cause docket on January the 12th at 2:30 p.m. January 12th at 2:30 p.m. That is an in-person hearing. You will be expected to appear at the Butler County Judicial Center at that time, Mr. Leitner.
Okay. Is there any possibility of getting an OR bond at all, sir?
Well, we'll discuss your bond here in just a second.
Okay.
It looks like you were represented by Jim Watts.
I was.
previously. Are you able to afford your own attorney at this point?
I'm not, Your Honor.
All right, I'll reappoint Mr. Watts to represent you. Depending on what happens on your case, you may be ordered to pay back some or all of his fees. Do you understand that? All right, I had set your bond at $7,500 cash or surety. I don't know where you've been all this time, Mr. Leitner.
Since August 23rd of 2021, I've been in Sedgwick County. I've been in there for 27 months.
So you've been in the Sedgwick County Jail all this time?
Yes, sir, I have.
Did you complete whatever sentence they had for you?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
And that's why they brought you over here?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Canfield, do you have any reason to doubt that?
I do not, Your Honor, but I would like to note, I have been informed that there are currently 3 holds out of Augusta. So even if bond is met in this case, I believe he is still being held on those 3.
All right. So apparently you may have holds out of Augusta Municipal Court, Mr. Leitner. I don't know. But what is your release plan? Where do you intend to go if you get out of jail?
Well, I have I'm going back to Wichita, living with my best friend, and I have a year's worth of probation for a misdemeanor that I have to do. So immediately, as soon as I leave here, I have to go start reporting to probation in Wichita.
Is that through Sedgwick County District Court or Municipal Court?
District Court.
Who's your probation officer?
I don't know yet because I haven't been there. It starts the minute I'm out.
And who's this friend you're going to be living with?
Her name is Margaret Kennedy. Or Margaret Taylor.
Do you have an address?
I do.
Can you provide that?
I can.
Do you have any prospects for employment?
I do. I do, Your Honor. I have a friend that works at Johnson Controls, and he said that he could possibly get me on at Johnson Controls. I have another friend that worked for Textron Aviation and said that he could get me on there as well.
Mr. Canfield, what's state's position on the bond request?
Your Honor, considering those 3 holds out of Augusta, I don't know the amounts or anything of that nature, but in this case, the state is going to request that the 7,500 cash surety remain.
All right, Mr. Leitner, I'm going to kind of go somewhere in the middle here. I'm going to lower the bond amount to 1,500, but I'm going to require that it be a cash or surety bond. I think I want to have a surety on your bond.
Okay, so that means I can go to a bondsman. Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You may have to address some City of Augusta holds as well, but
okay.
I've established a court date for you.
Yes, sir.
They should be able to give you Mr. Watts's phone number there. You'll need to contact his office if you're released.
Yes, sir.
And you'll need to appear in front of me at the Butler County Courthouse, January 12th, 2024 at 2:30 in the afternoon, courtroom C.
Yes, sir.
And it looks like Danny McKenzie is your probation officer here. On this case, I'm going to order that you make contact with him or his office, try to contact him by phone once you're released.
Yes, sir. They switched it to Sedgwick County last time, so it's just to make sure I'm clear that I contact Danny McKenzie here.
Well, I would contact both. I would contact Danny McKenzie and I would contact whoever you're reporting to from Sedgwick County so everybody knows where you're at and what you're doing.
Amen. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. If there's nothing further, we'll be in recess. You are excused. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good afternoon.
I don't know if y'all can hear how loud this little man is purring, but he's like vibrating my desk. He is one happy little kitty to be in this room and be snuggling in front of mama on the computer. He is such a happy little boy right now. Yeah. Yep, and he's taken up the whole space. I wish I could get a better view of him, but it's kind of hard to. I don't know how good of a view that is. Let me know. Is that a good view? Because I can't hardly see anything in the chat. With it angled like this, but I make sacrifices so y'all can have, Billy time. I gotta make sacrifices.
Afternoon, are you Armando Ramirez?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, next case on the docket is State of Kansas versus Armando A. Ramirez, 23 MR 300,002. The state appears by Devin Canfield. The defendant, Armando Ramirez, appears in custody from the Butler County Jail. All parties are appearing by Zoom. Looks like you're here on a fugitive warrant, Mr. Ramirez. The Lubbock County District Court of Lubbock County, Texas, has a warrant out for you for an aggravated assault. Do you intend to sign the waiver of extradition?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do they have they handed that paperwork to you there?
Yeah, now I got it.
Okay. Why don't you read through that? If you have any questions about it, be sure to ask me.
This is just for the extradition.
Right. By signing that, you're just agreeing to allow Lubbock County to come get you. We're not doing anything regarding the underlying charge. That's something that will have to be done down in Texas. This is just to determine if you're going to voluntarily go back to Texas.
Yeah, I got a question too.
Okay, go ahead.
What about the Garden City hold in Ulysses County and Marion, Kansas?
Okay, I'm not aware of any of those. Those matters will have to be taken up in those particular jurisdictions. All right, did you sign the waiver of extradition?
Yes, sir.
Okay. There is a bond listed on the warrant of $20,000. That's from the judge there in Lubbock County, Texas.
I was trying to have court, but I guess you can't do state from state, something like that.
No, I can't address the underlying charges you have here. Those will have to be taken up there in Lubbock County. The only thing we're doing here today is determining whether or not you're going to voluntarily go back. So, and you've signed that waiver of extradition, indicating you're willing to do so. So they'll get that document up here to me, and I'll sign that probably later this afternoon.
How many days has it got to come pick me up?
Oh, they usually come within about 2 weeks, don't they, Mr. Canfield?
I believe so, Your Honor.
Do we need to set another court date just to keep track of things?
We can, Your Honor. My understanding is we typically don't, but I don't see an issue if the court would like to.
Okay. Well, here's what I'll do, Mr. Ramirez. If 2 weeks have passed and they haven't come and got you, contact security there and they'll notify the court. Perhaps we can get you back on a docket. Do you have any questions, Mr. Ramirez?
Sure.
All right. If there's nothing further, we'll be in recess. You are excused. Right. Is that the last individual from the jail?
Yes, Your Honor, it is. After this, I'll run this waiver of extradition up to you, courthouse.
All right. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Al, who do you have there?
I have Tamara Ketterman.
All right. She is next on my list. All right. This is State of Kansas versus Tamara Elaine Ketterman, 23 CR 300,033. The state appears by Devin Canfield. Ms. Ketterman appears in custody from the courthouse Zoom location. Looks like you were brought here on not a summons. Looks like you were arrested and bonded out. Do you have a copy of your charges there in front of you, Ms. Ketterman? She doesn't have the charges?
No,
Okay.
sir.
I'll go over your charges with you. There are 4 counts, each one alleged to have occurred on November 8th, 2023 in Butler County, Kansas. Count one, you're charged with unlawful possession of methamphetamine. That is a level 5 drug felony. Count two, you're charged with unlawful possession of clonazepam. That is a class A non-person misdemeanor. Count three, you're charged with unlawful possession of marijuana. First offense, that is a class B non-person misdemeanor. And count four, you're charged with unlawful possession of paraphernalia for having possession of a plastic container, grinder, and smoking pipes. That is a class B non-person misdemeanor. Do you understand what you've been charged with, Ms. Ketterman?
Yes, sir.
All right, since there is a felony charge, you won't be asked to enter a plea today. This case has been assigned to Judge Ricky. Your next court date will be December 18th at 2:30 p.m. in front of Judge Ricky by Zoom. December 18th at 2:30. Do you have the financial wherewithal to hire your own attorney, Ms. Ketterman?
No, I didn't understand your question.
Can you afford to hire your own attorney?
Yes.
All right. Do you understand that if you can't afford to hire an attorney, one would be appointed for you?
Yes, sir.
All right. And you intend to hire your own attorney?
Okay.
All right. Your court date is just a little more than a month away. You need to get an attorney hired as soon as you can. You don't want to show up on that court date without having an attorney. If you find out you can't afford an attorney, then you can contact the clerk's office there on the first floor and they can give you an application for court-appointed counsel.
Yes, sir.
You did post a bond, $3,500 with AAA. I will approve your bond. As a condition of that bond, you're not to possess or consume alcohol or illegal drugs. All right, Mr. Canfield, are there other matters we need to address with Ms. Ketterman?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Ketterman, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right. If there's
I'll
nothing
get a
further,
link.
we'll be in recess. You are excused. Thank you.
Thank you. Then I'm done with you.
Yeah, you're done.
Do you have anybody else there, Al?
Actually, I do. I have two more people.
Okay, I'm going to take up Jaden Preston and Mandy Saunders. I see them on here, and those are the next two on my list.
Okay, and then I'll have Seeley ready after that.
Okay. All right, Jaden Preston, if you could turn on your video, please.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can see you now. All right, Miss Preston, can you adjust that camera so I can? I'm only
Sir,
seeing
can I restart my thing because I can't hear you? It's going through my top microphone for some reason.
You can't hear me at all?
I'm sorry, what?
Okay, go ahead. I'll take up a different case if you want to log out and come back in.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
All right, I'll take up Mandy Saunders. If you could turn on your video, please.
Are you there?
Yes. Can you turn on your video, please?
I'm trying to figure that out. I don't know how to do that. Okay, I think that's it. All right.
All right, well, I can see you now. Can you see me and hear me?
Yeah, I can. I had a hard time trying to hear you. I had to put you to my speaker, but yeah, I can hear you and see you.
I try to talk louder, but I think I'm already going hoarse.
No,
All right,
it's okay.
next case on the docket is State of Kansas versus Mandy Saunders, 23 CR 300,036. The state appears by Devin Campbell, or Canfield, sorry. Ms. Saunders appears in person by Zoom. All right, you're here for a first appearance, Ms. Saunders. I'm going to go over your charges with you. There are two counts, both alleged to have occurred on November 4th, 2023 in Butler County, Kansas. Count one alleges that you did transmit or communicate false or misleading information in any manner to request emergency service assistance, including law enforcement, fire, medical, or any other emergency service, to wit, called 911 to report a burglary in progress, knowing at the time of such request there was no reasonable ground for believing such assistance was needed. That is making an unlawful request for emergency services. That is a Class A non-person misdemeanor. Count two, you're charged with interference with law enforcement. That is a Class A non-person misdemeanor. Do you understand your charges?
Yeah.
All right. How do you intend to proceed on your case? You can enter a not guilty plea, a no contest plea, or a guilty plea. If you wish to speak with an attorney before deciding what to do, I'd suggest entering a not guilty plea. Do you know how you wish to proceed?
Can I speak to the prosecutor?
Well, not here today. You may be able to in the future.
What you can do is clean that gunk off of your camera, lady. That looks really foggy and gross and bad. Either she's sitting in the smokiest room there is, or she smeared Vaseline on her cell phone camera lens. I'm leaning towards the latter.
Okay. No contest.
Right, you want to enter a no contest, please, to these offenses today?
Yeah.
Okay, before doing so, I need to advise you that these are each Class A misdemeanors, which means they carry a maximum penalty of a year in the county jail and up to a $2,500 on each offense. Do you understand that?
Okay.
Ms. Saunders, were you able to hear me?
No, I was thinking to call in when I didn't get to hear you.
I'm having a hard time hearing you now.
Okay.
Did you hear me when I was telling you what the maximum penalties on each of these charges was?
No, I was thinking to call in, so I had to.
All right, you need to try to adjust your microphone. I'm having a difficult time hearing you.
Are you there?
Can you speak either closer to the mic or lean forward?
Okay.
All right, each one of these offenses carries a maximum penalty of a year in the county jail and up to a $2,500 fine. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. Do you wish to visit with an attorney about what your options may be on these charges?
Yeah, I could.
I'm still having difficulty hearing you.
Yeah, I could.
You could?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to enter a not guilty plea for you. Can you afford to hire your own attorney?
Probably not.
I'm sorry?
Probably not.
Okay. Are you working?
I am working, yeah.
Where do you work?
I am a manager at Wendy's,
Which location?
Andover.
Okay. And how much do you get paid each month?
Well, it varies depending on my hours.
You're going to have to give me an amount, an approximate amount you get paid each month.
About 15.
I'm sorry?
1,500.
I'll appoint Darren Patterson to represent you. You may have to pay back some or all of his costs depending on what happens on your case. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I understand. Write that down.
I'm going to give you his phone number. Do you have something to write with?
Yeah, I do.
316-322-7700.
Okay.
Your next court date is February 12th at 8 o'clock in the morning by Zoom with Judge Webster.
Hold on.
Did you write that date down?
I am writing that down right now.
All right, you posted bond. I'll approve your bond.
Okay.
You need to call Mr. Patterson's office when we get done here today and give them your contact information.
That's what I was asking you to do.
All right, Mr. Canfield, anything else on this case?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor, but did we provide Mr. Patterson's number?
Yes.
Okay. Then nothing from the state.
All right, Miss Saunders, you are excused. Thank you.
Good day.
All right, Miss Preston, did you get your Zoom working?
Yes, it's working. Sorry.
All right, can you turn on your video, please?
Yeah.
All right, we'll go on the record in State of Kansas versus Jaden, excuse me, Preston, 23 CR 300,034. The state appears by Devin Canfield. Miss Preston appears by Zoom. You're here for a first appearance, Miss Preston. I'm going to go over your charges with you. There are 4 charges, each alleged to have occurred on November 9th, 2023 in Butler County, Kansas. Count 1, you're charged with fleeing or attempting to elude an officer by engaging in reckless driving. That is a level 9 person felony. Count 2, you're charged with unlawfully obtaining control over stolen property, a 2020 Hyundai Elantra belonging to a Stephanie Hicks. That is theft, a level 9 non-person felony. Count 3, you're charged with unlawful possession of methamphetamine. That is a level 5 drug felony. And count 4, you're charged with unlawful possession of paraphernalia, a glass pipe. That is a class B non-person misdemeanor. Do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, I have a question though.
Go ahead.
So I thought it was only like if you have the keys, it was joyriding or some with a misdemeanor.
All right,
instead of-
Miss Preston, now is not the time to go over that issue. You'll be able to discuss that issue with an attorney, or if you think you have some defenses to these charges, you can raise those
Okay.
at another hearing down the road. Today, I'm just here to advise you as to what you've been charged with. So,
Okay.
Can you afford to hire your own attorney?
Not necessarily, but I want to try. I'm working at Dairy Queen, so I
Okay.
get paid about $12 an hour. So I want to
You
try.
understand that if you can't afford to hire an attorney, one would be appointed for you?
Yes, sir.
And you think you can afford to hire your own?
A cheap one, maybe.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right, so you do not wish to apply for court-appointed counsel at this time?
No, but would I be able to in the future if I ended up needing to?
Yes, if you decide, if you can't afford one, you can obtain a written application from the clerk's office, the Butler
Okay.
County Clerk's Office at the Judicial Center, and fill that out. All
Okay.
right. Your next court date is going to be in front of me by Zoom on January the 8th at 2:30. Do you have something to write that date down?
Yeah, I'm grabbing.
January 8th at 2:30. You've already posted bond. I'll approve your bond. That's a 10,000 surety bond you have with Dynamite. You're to have no contact with Shalohai Mans as a condition of that bond.
Okay, do I what was the court date again? January 8th at 2:30?
That's correct. And that'll be by Zoom. That's a felony preliminary hearing control docket. Now, Miss Preston, if you intend to hire your own attorney, you need to get started on that right away.
Yeah,
It usually takes time to get in with an attorney, to meet with him or her, and then get them retained, and then they have to get copies of the reports and so forth. So I don't want you to show up January 8th without either having an attorney on board or have submitted a application for court-appointed counsel. So it's your responsibility to get on that as soon as possible. All right, Mr. Canfield, anything further we need to address with Miss Preston's case?
No, Your Honor.
Miss Preston, do you have any questions?
No, sir. Thank you.
All right, we'll be in recess. You are excused. Thank you. Al, is that Curtis Seeley?
Yes, sir, it is.
All right, we'll go on the record in State of Kansas versus Curtis Seeley, 22 CR 310. The state appears by Devin Canfield. Mr. Seeley appears in person at the courthouse Zoom location. Mr. Seeley, it looks like you've been picked up on a warrant to show cause. It's alleged that you violated your probation as follows. On October 14th, you're to be at the Butler County Jail at 5:00 p.m. to begin serving a 48-hour jail sanction. And you did not arrive until 5:10 p.m. And on October 14th, 2023, while being searched by Butler County detention officers to begin your jail sanction, the odor of alcohol was detected. A PBT was conducted with a positive test of 0.142. So those are the allegations of probation violations. You posted a $5,000 bond. I'll approve your bond. Your next court date will be in front of Judge Hart on December 15th at 2:30 p.m.
Okay.
You will need to appear back at that same location for that hearing where you're at now, December 15th at 2:30.
Okay.
Did you have an attorney representing you before?
No, Your Honor. I was going to ask you, do I need to hire an attorney? Am I looking at additional charges, or is this a probation violation, or what are we looking at going forward, I suppose?
Well, it's a probation violation.
Uh-huh.
So whatever your controlling sentence is that's, you have that sentence hanging over your head.
Right. So my underlining would be basically the maximum. I just didn't know if I need to proceed in looking for an attorney, I can. If you would recommend that, I suppose.
Well, it looks like James Watts was representing you.
Sleep Sweet Palmyra Productions, and thank you for coming out just to say hi. Always love to see you.
On the underlying offense.
Yes, Your Honor. Yeah.
You can
So
you can hire whoever you want.
Hmm.
But I'm going to just reappoint him to represent you at this point.
Okay. That'd be more than fine. Yeah, me and James is a good attorney. So
yeah. Depending on what happens at your next hearing, you may have to pay back some or all of his fees. You understand that?
sure. Yeah. I think I'm having to pay the fees on the initial account anyway. So that's understandable. And I thank you, Your Honor, for addressing that.
All right. So we've established your next court date. Have you been in recent communication with Ed Ketley, who's your ISO?
I have not yet. I was kind of waiting around for today to see kind of what was going to happen, but I will contact Ed and I can get a hold of, they transferred me to the 905, in Wichita, Kansas, so I was being seen by Brian Wrong through 905 in Wichita, Kansas in Sedgwick County.
Well, I'm going to order that you contact both Mr. Ketley and whoever is supervising you out of Wichita, just so everybody knows what's
Absolutely.
going on. And then you need to call Mr. Watts's office, let him know what's going on, how to reach you, that sort of thing.
Okay, very good, Your Honor. I can do that.
All right, Mr. Canfield, anything else on Mr. Seeley's case?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Seeley, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
All right, we'll be in recess. You are excused. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen.
Hey, Judge. Mr. Vasquez just showed up.
Okay.
If you would, I have Mr. Whiteside here ready to go.
It's Beaver's Plumbing, y'all.
Mr. Vasquez is still filling out some papers for us.
Okay. Well, these are the last two on my list. So whoever's ready to go, let's take them up.
This is Mr. Whiteside right here.
Okay.
We know Kansas has a type.
All right. This is State of Kansas versus Jerry Joe Whiteside Jr. 23 CR 300,035. The state appears by Devin Canfield. Mr. Whiteside appears in person from the courthouse Zoom location. You're here for a first appearance, Mr. Whiteside. I'm going to go over your charges. There are 2 counts, each alleged to have occurred on November 8th, 2023 in Butler County, Kansas. Count 1 alleges that you were in unlawful possession of methamphetamine. That is a level 5 drug felony. Count 2 alleges you were in unlawful possession of paraphernalia for use for allegedly possessing some baggies, which I assume were used to contain the methamphetamine. That's a Class B non-person misdemeanor. Do you understand what you've been charged with, Mr. Whiteside?
I understand the paraphernalia and but not the last charge. They said contraband or something like that. I don't understand that.
I believe it was paraphernalia, but contraband is the jailhouse version of that, basically. Well, contraband is anything you're not supposed to get caught with. So, yeah, those charges seem rather familiar. I I'm pretty sure they're nearly a carbon copy of the ones that Judge Webster read off the day that he was in front of her. This might actually even be that same day, because he did have 2 hearings on that day. He showed up expecting to be at the 1:30 and finding out that he was actually late for Judge Webster's docket. And remember, he just barely slipped in before the warrant was like set in stone. So yeah, this might be that same day, but to have almost identical charges with 2 different judges, that's something special.
Well, you're charged with unlawful possession of methamphetamine, and then unlawful possession of paraphernalia, which is the paraphernalia item being alleged is a baggie, which I'm assuming the baggie was used to store the methamphetamine. I'm assuming that. So
and he gets
does that
some sleep.
clarify things for you?
Yes.
Get
Okay,
some
so
sleep.
those are
Love
the
you.
2 charges. There is a felony involved, so you won't be asked to enter a plea today.
And thank you.
Your case has been assigned to Judge Hart. Your next court date will be on his felony preliminary hearing control docket on February the 5th at 2:30 p.m. That hearing will be conducted by Zoom. Can you afford to hire your own attorney?
No, I was hoping I could get Patterson,
Okay.
but
So
I need an attorney.
all right. Are you currently employed?
Yes, I'm working for Beaver's Plumbing out of Augusta.
Okay. How long have you worked there?
Probably 6 months.
All right. Do you work full-time hours?
Yes, sir.
And approximately how much do you get paid each month in gross income?
I get like $700 a week, so $2,800 a month.
I'll find that you partially qualify. I'll appoint James Watts to represent you. He has the felony contract, Mr. Whiteside.
Okay.
Mr. Kofelt should be able to give you his contact information. All right, you posted bond in the amount of $5,000 through AAA. I'll approve your bond as a condition of bond. You're not to possess or consume alcohol or illegal drugs.
Okay.
Mr. Canfield, anything else we need to do with Mr. Whiteside's case?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Whiteside, you need to call Mr. Watts's office when you get done and let them know how to get a hold of you. Do you have any questions?
Nope.
All right, if there's nothing further, we'll be in recess. You are excused. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, you thought he was the fun one?
Let's see about that's Chris. Hey, Judge.
Yes.
I'm not for sure if he's gonna sit down right here. Yes. He might begin to need an interpreter. I'm not for sure. We have another lady here with him.
That's my friend.
Friend that could help him out if she needs to.
Hablas inglés?
What?
Yeah, what is right? Valiant effort, Judge. Valiant effort.
You speak English?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. This is State of Kansas versus Crispin Alonzo Vasquez, 23 CR 300,030. The state appears by Devin Canfield. Mr. Vasquez appears in person from the courthouse Zoom location. Mr. Vasquez, you're here for a first appearance. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
All right. And you don't need an interpreter?
I don't think so. This is my friend here. He can interpret me.
You say what you want to get said.
Okay. All right. There are 2 charges, each alleged to have occurred on November 12th, 2023 in Butler County, Kansas.
Why is it 2 charges though?
Well, I'm going to go over those with you. The first count, you're charged with driving under the influence. Second offense, it's alleged that you're operating a motor vehicle with a blood alcohol content of 0.223. and it's alleged that you have a prior DUI conviction from May of 2004 out of Wichita Municipal Court. That makes this a second time offense, which is a Class A non-person misdemeanor. That carries a maximum penalty of a year in jail and a maximum fine of $2,500. Count 2 alleges that you were unlawfully while in a motor vehicle on a highway or street transported any open alcoholic beverage which was accessible to the driver or any person in the vehicle, then it was not in an outside locked container. That is transporting an open container of alcoholic beverage. That is an unclassified non-person misdemeanor. That carries a maximum penalty of 30 days in jail and up to a $500 fine. So those are the 2 charges, Mr. Vasquez. Do you have any questions about what you've been charged with?
Yeah, but still I don't understand. What's the 2 charges for?
One of them was for a DUI and one of them's for transporting an open container.
Oh, okay, okay.
It's 2 separate offenses. So does that answer your question?
Oh, right. Those charges, Judge. Okay, thanks. I remember them now.
Okay, I see.
Okay. All right. How do you wish to proceed on your case, Mr. Vasquez? Are you going to consult with an attorney?
What do you say?
Are you going to talk to an attorney about your charges?
Are you gonna get a lawyer?
Do I need to?
Well, that's up to you. You don't have to have one. It's always better, in my opinion, to have one.
Well, yeah, I'm guilty. I'm pleading guilty.
All right, Mr. Vasquez, I don't want you to make any statements here that could be used against you.
Too late, Judge. That was the statement of all statements. That was the one that they could use against him the most. Yep. Do I need an attorney? Well, I'm guilty. Hey, Judge, do you have a bottle in that drawer? Yeah. You got me. Yep.
Before you've had an opportunity to consult with an attorney, if that's what you wish to do. Can you afford to hire your own attorney?
Can you afford an attorney, Chris? Not really.
Well, I usually have one in Wichita, but not here. Huh?
Any attorney. Can you afford an attorney?
I don't know what is the price is different from Wichita.
Well,
2,000?
A few thousand, I don't know, but it's gonna be in the thousands, you can bet.
To get a lawyer.
Yes.
Can you afford to hire an attorney, or do you need to apply for court-appointed counsel?
But why I need a lawyer? And while I'm here, I'm pleading guilty.
Well, I'm not comfortable having you plead guilty at this point based on the comments that you've made. You don't have to have an attorney represent you, but I question whether you're fully able to understand everything right now. I don't know if you need an interpreter or you just need an attorney to consult with you about what your rights are on these charges.
Is there any way can I have a public attorney?
Yeah, I need to ask you a few questions. Are you employed? Are you employed? Do you work?
Tell him you're retired.
I'm retired, yeah.
Okay. Do you have any source of income outside of Social Security or any other investments?
Nope.
All right. I'm going to appoint Darren Patterson to represent you. He's an attorney here in El Dorado. Your next court date will be February the 12th at 8 o'clock in the morning. That'll be with Judge Webster, and that will be done by Zoom. You've already posted bond. That was an OR bond. All right, now this list shows this case being assigned to me, but I see it's just 2 misdemeanors. Was this originally brought in as a felony, maybe, Mr. Canfield?
I'm not seeing that it was, Your Honor. Everything referred to us looks like it was a misdemeanor.
Okay. Angela, do you know why this case is assigned to me? Does Judge Webster maybe have a conflict?
I have not heard anything about a conflict, so I'm not.
Maybe it's because you speak his language so well, Judge. Hablas inglés. Sorry, that really got me.
Not sure why they put you on there.
Okay, well, I'm gonna send it back. I'm gonna put it on the misdemeanor docket, February 12th at 8 o'clock. That'll be by Zoom in front of Judge Webster. I'm gonna approve the bond. You've appeared here as ordered to.
About a bond.
All right, Mr. Vasquez, you need to call Mr. Patterson's office when we get done. Give them your contact information. Mr. Canfield, anything else we need to do on this case?
Your Honor, I would ask that in addition to the OR bond, the court stipulate no drugs or alcohol.
All right.
But how's he gonna speak Boomhauer if he doesn't have his boom juice?
Mr. Vasquez, as a condition of bond, you're not to possess or consume alcohol or illegal drugs. Do you have any questions?
Well, is any way I can have permission to see my hospital? I got an appointment on the 22nd this month. I got my liver disease.
I'm not understanding you.
Judge, he just told you that his liver is failing. And he needs to go to the hospital this month. I heard that. And I know why.
I said, is it impossible? Can I have a permission to go see my doctor in Wichita, the 22nd?
Yeah, you don't have any restrictions on going to see your doctor.
Like his driver's license is what he's meaning.
So this court doesn't have any control over your driver's license. That's up to the Department of Revenue.
Where is his license?
You might visit with Mr. Patterson about any issues pertaining to your driver's license. All right, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right, we'll be in recess. Mr. Vasquez, you are excused. All right, that's the last name on my list. Do you show anything else, Devin?
Nope, that's all I got.
All right, thank you. Thanks, Al.
Yeah, that one was fun. That last one. It's always the last ones. Why is that? It's always the last ones on the docket. You know, I could be ready to give up on editing the docket and get to the last one. And I'm like, oh, that's why I kept going. Yeah. And sometimes I throw away the whole thing just for the last one. That's how it is. Oh, what do I got? What do I got? What do I got? Oh, you know what? Let's continue on this first appearances bandwagon.
At Angle?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Judge Ricky.
Let's go ahead and start recording and broadcast. This is the Butler County, Kansas first appearance docket of November 22, 2023. I'm David A. Ricky, District Judge. The first case that I'll take up on this docket is State of Kansas versus Chad Arthur Engel. It's case number 23CR300040. Mr. Engel appears from the jail Zoom location, and Devin Canfield appears for the state of Kansas. Mr. Engel, do you have a copy of your charging document before you?
No, I don't.
Count 1, alleges possession of methamphetamine, a level 5 drug felony. Count 2, possession of paraphernalia for use, Class B misdemeanor. Count 3, driving while license is suspended or canceled, a Class A misdemeanor. Count 4, no proof of insurance, a Class B misdemeanor. And Count 5, expired tag, an unclassified misdemeanor. Felonies involved, you will not be asked to plead. Rather, a preliminary hearing scheduling will be made before your assigned judge, the Honorable Chad Crum. Judge Crum's next docket for that purpose would be January 8, 2024, 2:30 p.m. You must fully participate in Judge Crumb's docket at that time, January 8, 2:30 p.m. Can you afford to hire your own lawyer, Mr. Engel?
I don't know. I'd like to try, but is there a bond on this case?
We'll address that next.
Do you work at Dairy Queen too, like the last one who said they wanted to try? Maybe a cheap one?
Are you currently working, or were you working before your arrest?
I'm on disability, Your Honor.
All right. Seems unlikely that you're going to be able to retain a lawyer unless you've got some accumulated funds somewhere. All right. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. James Watts is appointed. Bid's application fee can be addressed by Judge Crumb later. Recommendation regarding a bond here, Mr. Canfield.
Thank you, Your Honor. State is requesting a $5,000 cash surety bond, as well as no driving and no drugs or alcohol.
Why that amount of bond? Canfield, is there anything aggravating here that the court needs to know?
Not to my knowledge, Your Honor. There have been a few failure to appears in the criminal history, and I believe that was the primary reason we were requesting a $5,000.
Understood, Mr. Canfield. The court will adopt the recommendation. Set bond at $5,000, cash or professional surety required.
Yes, sir.
Just remember that court date. If you are able to make bond, Mr. Engel, which I hope obviously that you can.
I don't quite understand. What's my bond?
$5,000, cash or professional surety. Either you're a bondsman, you need to work with a bondsman to bond you out, or you need to come up with $5,000 cash. Okay. All right. Anything further we need to address here, Mr. Canfield?
No, Your Honor.
Very well. Then the Engel matter will be in recess. We'll move on to another matter.
Sure.
Next case on the docket is State of Kansas versus Silas David Littlebrave. It's case number 2023 CR 267. Devin Canfield appearing for the state. Mr. Littlebrave appearing from the jail Zoom location. So Littlebrave, I think you appeared before this court not too long ago. You had difficulty finding a shirt on that date, as I remember.
Yes, Your Honor. Correct.
Now you're in custody. Let's determine why.
Oh, well, I got trespassed from my house where my wife and my son live. I couldn't go back there, so pretty much homeless for a good month. Trying to find a phone and a decent place to get connected to Wi-Fi was kind of hard. And then my lawyer called me and said that my bond was getting revoked and something else. So I tried to turn myself in on that evening. They said the warrants weren't active. So I was running around trying to figure out how I was going to get myself into jail. The warrants didn't become active. They came and found me and picked me up.
I don't think that's what Judge Rickey meant. I think Judge Rickey meant he was going to read what the charges were. Not that he wanted a narrative. But thanks for story time. We didn't even have to get out the red carpet for that one.
So here we are now.
Right. You were on bond supervision. You got into a number of matters apparently in Augusta.
Yep.
Which led Judge Hart to issue an arrest warrant for bond violations. A further hearing will need to be set before him. Trying to determine what your next court date would have been with him anyway.
I believe the 6th, sometime next month, or January 3rd or something like that. I can't remember.
Your Honor, I have it set for pre-trial on January 19th.
And what?
That's not next month. Oh, we have a break-in. Hi. Somebody just broke into my bedroom. Come on. Come on up. If you're going to come in, you're going to say hi to everybody. It's rude not to. Puppy break. Puppy break. Broke into the bedroom. Didn't even shut the door behind her. Yeah, puppy break. Yup. No, she got brave earlier today because I was letting her come in the room because I got the heat around in here because it's cold. And yeah, so about the fourth or fifth time we were in and out of the room, she come running in and jumped up on the bed. And I'm like, I just look at her and I go, "You're brave." And she jumped right off. I used to let her sleep on my bed until she messed on my bed, and that was the end of that.
Time of day is that set?
9 a.m.
All right.
I'm on oral on that case, so I think this is the only one I'm on bond for.
Yeah, you've already got counsel, Mr. Watts, involved in that case. And I currently don't have any dates for Judge Hart sooner than that. I'm not going to be inclined to modify any proceedings in Judge Hart's court. He's arrested. He's had you picked up on a warrant for bond violation. Your attorney can request that an earlier hearing be set. I'm going to leave your next appearance where it currently is, January 19th at 9 o'clock, Mr. Littlebrave. And again, your attorney can request a sooner hearing and perhaps can get something fixed on Judge Hart's calendar. I just don't have any dates sooner than that I can assign.
Right. Don't tell my wife I love her. I have no way of getting hold of her.
All right. Anything else at this time, Mr. Canfield, from your perspective?
Your Honor, I have an email in my file from Ms. Norris saying that she was going to be filing a warrant to show cause. I understand that Judge Hart has a warrant to show cause on that same date at 2:30. I just wanted to confirm that we are keeping this on the preliminary hearing docket, or if we should change it to the warrant to show cause docket.
Well, okay. I had the impression that he was on a pretrial conference docket January 19th at 9.
That's what it was previously set. Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
I'm not sure why this was set today or as a warrant to show cause. I don't have any filings for a warrant to show cause, but
all right.
that email I have.
Warrant to show cause would suggest probation violation. That doesn't appear to be what we have here. I'm just going to leave it where it's currently set on a pretrial docket. Bond can be reviewed by Judge Hart in this case at that time, January 19th at 9 a.m., unless an earlier hearing is set.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Love you, Amber. Thank you, Your Honor.
Nothing further. The Little Brave matter will be in recess. Next case on the docket is State of Kansas versus Thomas John Weber. Case number 2023 CR 281. Mr. Weber?
Yes, sir.
All right. Devin Canfield appears for the state. I see in the file and from my docket notes that there was an appearance in this case scheduled for September the 27th. Defendant didn't appear. This court entered an order of bond forfeiture bench warrant. No bond hold. Rescheduling will take place once Weber is in custody. And now you're in custody, Mr. Weber. Does make me wonder why you didn't show up.
Well, my eyes are getting bad, and Mr. Watts made a 9. I thought it was a 9 and it was a 7. I thought it was the 29th and it was the 27th. My eyes are just getting bad. I need to get glasses.
Well, your ears must be getting bad too, Mr. Weber, because you were present in Mr. Watts' office when this court announced your court date for September the 27th at 9 o'clock in the morning.
He wrote it on the card, and I went by the card.
All right, you're responsible to keep track of your own court dates, Mr. Weber. We'll go ahead and get you rescheduled here for further proceedings on your case. Unfortunately, it was an evidentiary hearing that you didn't show up.
I would never miss court. I've never missed court in my entire life. Never.
You missed it. You missed it that day.
That I did. I called that day. I've done everything I can. I called my bondsman. I called Watts. I called everybody when I found that I missed, and I was only missed by 2 hours. I done everything I could, Mr. Ricky. I did.
I'll try to get you scheduled as soon as I can. Mandy, what I'm looking for is probably my next preliminary felony date on a Monday at 2:30 because we can't coordinate an evidentiary hearing without Mr. Watts.
Can we just bypass the evidentiary hearing?
Well, I'm not going to allow you to waive that without counsel present and having an opportunity to confer with your counsel.
We talked about it, and afterwards he said, "Tom, you should never done that." And I didn't exactly know what it is anyway. So
Okay. I have a date, I think Monday, December the 18th, 2:30 p.m. I'll reset the Weber case to that date. And then we'll either handle the issue of preliminary hearing waiver formally, or we'll deal with the issue of scheduling a preliminary hearing at that time. December 18, 2:30 p.m. Until then, Mr. Weber's status will be unchanged.
I don't get a bond. I don't get a reinstatement.
No. You don't show up for court, Mr. Weber, you're a bad risk to place back on bond.
I didn't.
Okay. Well,
Judge
we'll address that further December the 18th, Mr. Weber.
Your Honor, it was an honest mistake. It was an honest mistake. I've never missed court.
Mr. Weber will address this December 18th at 2:30. Until then, the court's order of no bond hold remains. Mr. Watts remains as counsel. If there's nothing further, then the Weber matter will be in recess. We'll move on to the next case. Jennifer Ryerson?
Yes.
Okay. This is State of Kansas versus Jennifer Lynn Ryerson. It's case number 2022, CR 152. Devin Canfield appears for the state. Jennifer Ryerson from the jail Zoom location. All right, I see an order for bench warrant and bond forfeiture. Apparently you didn't appear in Judge Crump's court.
No, Your Honor, I was on my way to the hospital. I ended up being in the hospital for over a month.
Okay, well, the failure to appear took place on July 21 of 2023. The month went by. And then around August the 21st, you would have been out of the hospital. How come you didn't arrange for a surrender or take care of this between then and now?
I ended up going to rehab.
Okay, and so rehab does not excuse you from going to court. Not to mention the fact that most rehab centers allow people to participate by Zoom from their facilities.
I didn't think about it.
Proper arrangement. Well, this is Judge Crump's case. He's established a bond at $10,000 cash or professional surety required. So that will be the bond order that's still in effect. You do have an attorney, Mr. Favre, apparently was reappointed. So you already have counsel. We just need to set another date on Judge Crump's calendar.
Is there any way I can get an OR?
No? From Judge Crump, maybe, but you're going to have to apply to the judge who's presiding over the case for that relief. This apparently was a probation review matter, so we'll set this on his docket for that purpose. The next date I have is January 12th, 2024, 2:30 p.m. That'll be the date the court assigns, 2:30, January 12th, with Judge Crump. You must fully participate in Judge Crump's proceeding at that time. You can talk to your attorney about asking for some sort of relief on your bond from Judge Crump between now and then. Any further business we need to conduct or review here, Mr. Canfield?
Not on this matter, Your Honor, but I do believe there is a second case for Ms. Ryerson, 22 CR 153.
All right, I see the bench warrant and bond forfeiture order in that one. Failure to appear on the common date. $1,500 OR bond on that one. Not sure why an OR bond, but that's what was established. And I presume Mr. Favre is representing her in that one. It looks like he is.
Okay, this is probably just because I'm from Wisconsin. But does it annoy anyone at all that Mr. Favre pronounces his name Mr. Favre instead of Favre? Anyone? I've only ever heard it as Favre. To hear it as Favre is just mind-boggling to me. I just can't do that. It doesn't make sense. And yes, I know it's the phonetic way of saying it, but it's Favre. Like Brett Favre.
And it's also for review of probation, so it'll be set on the same date. So 22 CR 153 is also set for hearing before Judge Crum, January 12th,
It's
2024, 2:30 p.m. Mr. Favre is representing her. All right, Mr. Canfield, with that announcement made, anything else on Ryerson at this time?
No, Your Honor.
Ryerson, anything further?
I think so, your sir.
Very well. Then the Jennifer Ryerson matters are currently in recess. The next case that the court will address is State of Kansas versus Danielle Christine Sullivan. It's case number 2020 CR 525. Danielle Sullivan
Yes.
appears from the jail Zoom location. Devin Canfield appears for the state. I see in this file a request for revocation of probation based on allegations by Christine Donovan for CSO. Have you been served with that paperwork, Ms. Sullivan?
Yes.
Failing to report, violation of the law, failing to meet alcohol and drug evaluation conditions.
Yes, your honor.
Further hearing will need to be set on these allegations before the assigned judge, which is the Honorable Jan Satterfield. Judge Satterfield's next docket for that purpose would be January 26, 2024, 2:30 p.m.
I have never seen Judge Satterfield. I have never even seen a docket for them. I don't know if it's a man or a woman. I am questioning why there is no Judge Satterfield docket. Why can't I get it? I must know.
Defendant must fully participate at that time. January 26, 2:30 p.m., Judge Satterfield's court. There was a relatively low bond set here. $1,000 cash or surety. That order remains in effect as established by Judge Satterfield. $1,000 cash or surety. Court will require you, as a condition of that bond, you make it, Ms. Sullivan, is that you need to immediately report or call your court services officer, Christine Donovan, follow further reporting the directions that she would give. Can you afford to hire your own lawyer on this, Ms. Sullivan?
No, your honor.
Like this is a misdemeanor case. I'll be appointing Darren Patterson to represent her. So Darren Patterson is appointed.
Your Honor, I believe the first count is a felony.
Excuse me? Repeat that, Mr. Canfield.
I believe the first count was a felony. I'm just pulling up the amended. I apologize. It was dismissed, so it is just misdemeanors.
Have you ever seen Judge Satterfield? She's getting put before Judge Satterfield. And I have never heard of them. I've never seen them. This is Kansas. Have you ever seen them? Okay. I have not. Are they still on? Because now I'm just curious. I have. Yeah, see, it's not ringing a bell. Okay. If you tell me I have, I guess I must have. I will have to go and do some investigating. And Canfield, as far as we know, is not related to Jerry Garrett. He's he's a factory second, you know, do I have Discord? I sure do. Welcome to the night shift. Okay. Yes, clones of J. Regier. Yes. I was saying it's the wish.com version. Dollar store, knockoff, bootleg that came up. It's definitely not J. Regier, but it is very close. Even the mannerisms are very close. But 2.0, that means upgraded and better, like a newer version. I don't know that Canfield is better than J. Regier. I can't get behind the whole 2.0 because I love my J. Regier. I think he's amazing. I actually have him glitching out a little. Yep, I have a J. Regier moment where he glitches a little. Maybe I'll show you guys if there's quite a bit left on this. Maybe I'll show you tomorrow. Okay. I will have to go look. Thank you. Well, I thought you were going to send it to me in Discord. I sent you my Discord.
All right. Darren Patterson appointed. Our court date is set for Judge Satterfield, January 26th at 2:30 p.m. Bond remains 1,000 cash for surety as established by the sentencing judge. Sullivan, anything else we need to address here?
Talk to me? Were you talking to me, Your Honor?
Yes.
Oh, no, Your Honor.
All right. Mr.
Thank you,
Canfield,
people in
anything
court.
further?
No, Your Honor.
Sullivan, case is in recess. Michael Boggs?
Yes, sir.
This is the state of Kansas versus Michael James Boggs. Case number 2023 CR 78. Devin Canfield appearing for the state. Mr. Boggs from the jail Zoom location. It would appear that Mr. Boggs had a previously established court date. Apparently on August 14, 2023, defendant failed to appear at the time specified. Bond forfeiture and bench warrant was ordered. As I see, even a motion for judgment on that bond. Yet it makes me wonder why you didn't appear. Judge.
I don't know. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna. I don't know why I didn't show up. But I'm asking if I can possibly. I don't know what this charges, what my charges are for this one is. But I just wanted to just
attempted theft, a Class B misdemeanor.
Okay, guys, we're gonna go on a little what is that called? Field trip. We're going to go on a field trip. Okay. Thank you, people in court. Okay, well, that's not it. Is this it?
Mr.
No,
Astra?
that's Mindy Walker.
number of intakes. And so that is.
Accident, broke 6 ribs. I'm no longer employed.
Oh.
Okay, well, I'm sorry to hear that. Then I'm going to go ahead and appoint counsel for you. I'm going to appoint Mr. Watts, Jim Watts. You may see him on the monitor. I'm not sure whether you do or not. Anyway, they'll give you a contact
for a very
form and
long
information.
time.
Excuse me.
I believe he was in a car accident. I do not believe he broke 6 ribs.
Okay. I have not seen her in a long time. Like, I barely remember her. Okay. Wow. Well, I appreciate that very much. It's a permission slip, not a waiver. All right. Well, thank you, people in court. I really appreciate that. I'm so glad you stopped by because that was driving me crazy. See how good you guys are to me?
I still don't know what that would be for though, but
Yeah, attempted theft of money at El Dorado State Park.
yeah, I don't. I tried to fight that one and everything else. I guess I didn't win on it.
Okay. Let me determine your current status. There's no docket notes here, so that helped me. So the bench warrant that was issued. Okay, this is a no bond hold. I will set this for hearings before Judge Lee on December the 1st at 1:30 p.m. No bond hold remains. I'm going to give you a relatively prompt court date to see Judge Lee. December 1, Darren Patterson remains your attorney. Mr. Boggs, you need to fully participate in Judge Lee's docket, which will be done by Zoom, and presumably you'll still be in the jail on the no bond hold. So you should be able to fully participate and hopefully get something done on your case that day, Mr. Boggs.
I'm hoping to get everything done on all my cases. I can be done with it all.
Well, I'm only aware of this one.
Right.
And Mr. Patterson should be there to represent you on that date.
Okay.
So with those announcements made, anything further we need to address here, Mr. Canfield?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Then the Boggs matter will currently be in recess.
All right, thank you.
What is your name?
That was the Boggs matter. Brian, was that your long lost cousin? Did we just have a family reunion moment, Brian?
Sir?
Curtis Calloway.
This is State of Kansas versus Curtis Wade Calloway. Case number 2022 CR 200. Devin Canfield again appearing for the state. Mr. Calloway from the jail's Zoom location. I see a no bond hold order was issued by Judge Hart.
I missed that. I'm sorry. I must have missed that. It must have been while I was looking for the video from People in Court. By the way, y'all, if you haven't checked out People in Court's channel before tonight, go give it a look and maybe a like, maybe a subscribe, maybe a share, because they're really good people.
Apparently, because the defendant was ordered to appear on October 5, 2023, did not do so, and court ordered a no bond hold.
I speak. Your Honor.
Yes.
I just want to say, I mean, I'm trying to get a bond, but I mean, I bonded on the 3rd of 2022, and I've been 16 months. I've no problems. I got a report to I'm on probation in every county. I've been reporting and everything like that. I had no issues in 16 months. I mean, a warrant issued on the 30th, and then I turned myself in November 1st, October 30th to November 1st, with no problems. I mean, I'm a longtime resident. I mean, my address is 306 North Michigan. I've been there for 4 years in Winfield. I got a report to my probation officer, Brian Young and David Beveridge. I mean, I speak to Mrs. Stevens for a Mama Bell bondsman, and she said that she would be willing to take my bond back because I've had no problems. I've been making sure that I've been in contact. My days got mixed up, and I messed up on that. I mean, I'd be willing to, like, I have the financial means for a GPS tracking on my leg.
You know what else you messed up on? Getting that full neck tattoo. Why do people do that? I don't understand that, but that was your first I messed up on. That was number one.
If I had to do something like that, I mean, I just want to be out for Thanksgiving if it's all possible. But I mean, it's really up to you. I know, but I mean, at the same time, that's just everything I got.
It may have been possible if you'd have showed up for court when you were supposed to, but let me just review some recent history here.
I got you.
Apparently, there was a no contest plea to a felony drug charge back on March 10th. Court date was set for sentencing on May 25th. The defense lawyer asked for a continuance due to the need to file a departure motion. Court granted a continuance. Then we rolled it over to August the 10th. Apparently there was another request for a continuance. I'm not sure why on that date. The matter was set for October the 5th, and on what was the third sentencing date after felony conviction, you failed to appear.
Yeah. I mean, but again, Your Honor, I'm October to November, like November 1st. I've been in jail since November 1st. October, that's one day. I mean, but either way, I mean, just I'm fine with whatever you got going on, man. I put it in God's hands. So I ain't scared to just sit in here and so whatever, man. So
okay, Mr. Canfield, do you have any knowledge of Judge Hart's sentencing dockets? Particularly if he's got one in December, when that would be?
I do not have that, Your Honor.
Can I say one more thing, Your Honor? I've been in contact with Sumner Mental Health, speaking with Jenny Pinion. I actually was supposed to, I've been here for about 3 days. She was supposed to come up to the county jail there where I was at for my drug and alcohol, to finish the rest of my drug and alcohol evaluation, so I could get a bed day. I do have I'm scheduled for a evaluation on December 7th, but I managed to get her to do it that day that Butler County ended up picking me up. So, I mean, I got a date for a drug and alcohol evaluation. I mean, on December 7th, 10 a.m.
And where was that to take place at?
Sumner Mental Health in Wellington, Kansas.
Oh.
With Jenny Pinion.
So she was going to come to the jail in Sumner and do it?
That day, yeah. I actually got her to go from this because I've been calling her. I've been exhausted on every resource, and I've got her to come to the county that day, which would have been about 3 days ago. But she was coming that morning, but then Butler County picked me up and brought me here. So I mean, Jenny Pinion's her name. I'm trying everything I can. I got people on the outside that are in my corner that are trying to help me, you know. And I'm trying to help myself, man. I mean, but I understand fully that I missed court on that day. And so I'm willing to take responsibility for that and say, you know, if I got to sit it out here until whenever, I'm going to keep my head up.
Okay. Judge Hart's notes are clear and unequivocal that you're to be held without a bond until he can get you sentenced due to your failure to appear. And I guess difficulty in getting you sentenced. And I hope that if you do have some outside resources, they can arrange for somebody to come in and do this evaluation in the Butler County Jail, because unfortunately that's where you're going to be for a while. Okay. Fortunately, I don't have a December date to assign you. Unless my assistant can come up with one. How about 2023?
I don't have that.
2024.
Okay, do you know what time those start? Okay, 1:30. Okay, the first date I can give you is January the 11th at 1:30 p.m.
Okay.
That is Judge Hart's first sentencing docket of 2024. Perhaps your attorney could get that moved up, but right now I'm going to set it for January the 11th, 1:30 p.m. Judge Hart's court.
Sure. I'll have my drug and alcohol.
Order
All
remains.
right, thank you.
Okay. There's nothing
Thanks,
further.
Craig.
Then the Callaway matter will be in recess.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks.
And Merry
I don't think the neck is where you should put that one, Mean John.
Christmas. Happy New Year too.
Okay, I've got an individual who just became seated at Court Security 1 Zoom location. Who is that individual?
Anthony Morris, sir.
Okay, Mr. Morris, I'm going to go ahead and take up your case next then. It is State of Kansas versus Anthony Paul Morris. It's case number 2021 CR 506. Devin Canfield appears for the state of Kansas and the Butler County Attorney's Office. I see a warrant to show cause in this file, Mr. Morris, alleging probation violations of failing to report, failing to pay costs and fees as ordered, failing to provide proof of completing an outpatient drug and alcohol treatment as recommended per your evaluation. Further hearing will need to be set on these allegations. I want to get this heard sooner rather than later. So I'm going to set this case before Judge Lee on December the 1st at 1:30 p.m. So Mr. Morris, your next court date's just around the corner, December 1, 1:30 p.m. That will be a Zoom docket. Now, can you afford to hire your own lawyer on this?
No, sir.
Why, on your nose, of course.
Okay.
My wife just died. That's why I haven't been able to pay off my fines. I had to pay for her funeral out of pocket.
Well, sorry to hear that, Mr. Morris.
Thank you, sir. I've been trying to deal with it as best I can.
All right. I just need you to appear. Apparently, you posted your bond.
Yes, sir.
With hot rod bail bonds, $2,500. The court will maintain you under that bond because you appeared today, Mr. Morris.
Thank you, sir.
Showing up does a lot.
Yes, sir.
So maintain you under that bond, but I will require you to stay in contact with your court services officer. Who is your supervising officer, Mr. Morris?
Christine Donovan.
Okay, when was the last time you talked to her?
The day I got arrested.
Okay, do you have another date set to contact her or?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
When I'm done in here, I'm going to go see her.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and do that and follow her directions regarding future reporting between now and December 1st, if she wants to see you between now and then.
Yes,
December
sir.
1, 1:30, Zoom, Judge Lee's court. And I will
Thank you,
be
sir.
appointing a lawyer. Did you have Mr. Patterson before?
Yes.
I'll appoint him again. Darren
Thank you, sir.
Patterson is appointed to Anthony Paul Morris. He should be present to represent you on that docket on December 1st, 1:30, Judge Lee's court. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Canfield, is there anything else we need to address regarding Mr. Morris?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Morris, you have any questions about what we've done here?
No, sir. Last time I talked to my PO, it was over. I went to the one on Harry and Oliver for a couple of days. They was the drug and alcohol program. But when I got to talk to the guy in charge, he said they didn't report. But I pulled it right out of the packet that she had gave me. So I'm gonna have to go back through SAP and see if they have one closer to me, because I do moving, and a lot of times I don't get in time for the class. I'm trying to find one that is after the hours that I work.
Well, I hope that you can discuss that very matter with Ms. Donovan today.
Yes,
when you
sir.
get to see her.
Yes, sir.
Make sure she's aware of your situation, and then she'll work with you in that regard and give you some further direction. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Oh no, there's also Watts. It's Watts and Patterson, the only two in Kansas.
All right, Mr.
Thank you.
Morris.
Y'all have a good holiday.
All right, you too, Mr. Morris. I think that
you,
concludes
sir.
business in that matter. He's free to go. All right, Mr. Canfield, are you aware of any matter that we still need to address or readdress?
No, Your Honor, that's everything I have.
All right, then that concludes the Butler County first appearance docket at this time, and the meeting may be ended for all.
Oh, guys. Thank you for coming out. I'm going to call it so that I can get up tomorrow and get my editing done early enough and get ready for the movie. There's a link in the Discord for movie night. We're doing Mary Poppins. It's Philip's afternoon. So I think that makes it around like 5-ish Central Time-ish. Oh, I'm sorry, people in court. It's not my fault I didn't do it. You're the one that had to pee. I didn't make you pee. You'll have to come to Mary Poppins. You'll have to come to Mary Poppins tomorrow. Do I get a treat for being a good girl? Cookie at least? All right, guys. I love you all so much. Thank you for being you. I believe the original. I believe the original. I believe. I don't know. I wasn't in on the voting. But I would say original. All right. All right, guys. Well, then give me a biscuit. Love you.